Happy Monday, 7th graders. So I'm going to start a couple of these questions for your day 4 practice. I do apologize that the video for Friday did at the end say that you had to complete extra. That video was made before we changed things, and we were trying to get a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. That's not the case anymore. So if you did that 2.7 homework, you actually are done for the next 2 days. Congrats. You'll just turn in one page today, the first page, and the second page tomorrow. So you're off the hook if you did that. I would suggest still following along to make sure you set them up right. But other than that, you're good to go. Okay. So number 1 here, I did an example of that on Friday in the video. So you should have that, but let's just talk about some strategies here. So Daniel had some candy to give his 3 children. Okay, so that means that we're dealing with a 3. He took 5 pieces for himself and then evenly divided the rest among his children. Each child received 2 pieces. With how many pieces did he start? So that looks like that's what we don't know, right? Because remember, whatever the question is saying, that's what we do not. That's the missing piece. So we can say, well, X can equal pieces started with. All right, and then the only other part I'm going to do of this one is to do the verbal equation, which remember sometimes helps paint a better picture for this. So we had some candy. Then we took some. Then we divided it among our kids, and then we were left with 2. Simple as that. All right, so now, and then you'll plug in the information, use the examples from Friday to help you. Okay, for number 2, for a field trip, 27 students rode in cars and the rest filled 5 buses, so we have 27 students, and we have some people in 5 buses. How many students were in each bus? So that's a pretty important part. Students were in each bus if 317 students were on the trip. So I'm not even going to write a verbal description on this one, but I am going to say when you write equations, it is not an equation if you have something like 17 minus 3 divided by 2 equals X. That's not an equation, ladies and gentlemen. That's an expression equivalent to X. When you write an equation, X has to be embedded within the problem. So it could look something like this. 2x plus 3 equals 17. That's an expression, or that's an equation, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, not the first one. So I'm going to highlight red, no, bad. Then green, like go, good, yay. Now, I will say, neither of these have anything to do with this problem. So if you were writing that down, ignore that. Has nothing to do with number 2. It does, however, have everything to do with what an expression is versus what an actual equation is. Moving on. I'm going to leave number 3 to the end, but I am going to talk about number 4 because we have not talked about this type of problem before. So I'm going to get back my blue because it's pretty. Maria bought a magazine for $5.30 and 8 erasers. She spent a total of $22.90. How much did each eraser cost? There's the question. That means that's what we don't know. So I can say, well, X equals cost of 1 eraser. So then let's think, what's happening here? Well, I buy a magazine, plus I buy some erasers, 8 erasers in fact, and that equals my total money. So now I can pretty much plug in some information, but I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to add some blanks here, and you're going to fill out the rest. But I've given you this helpful verbal description to help. So I'm going to write blank plus blank X equals blank. You fill out the rest and solve. All right? Finally, number 3, I'm going to do this one for you. I'm not going to solve it, but I am going to write the equation out. Okay. Chelsea wanted to make note cards by cutting pieces of paper in half. So we're cutting paper in half. So that means if we had 1 piece of paper, now we have 2. If we had 3 pieces of paper, now we have 6. If we had 8, now we have 16. Before starting, she got 6 more pieces to use. When she was done, she had 24 half pieces of paper. With how many pieces did she start? So if we break this down, first, let's identify what we don't know. We need to know how many pieces did she start. So X equals paper started with. Okay, so let's think about this. You had some paper, then you got 6 more pieces, right? Then you broke it all in half. So what you're essentially doing, you're taking like your 10 pieces of paper and you're doubling that paper, right? Like if I had 10 pieces of paper and I broke them all into 2 equal pieces, I tore them all in half. Instead of 10, I'm having 20. Which means, what did I do to get from 10 to 20? I multiplied by 2. So that's when we use the distributive property. So I'm going to make my parentheses, stick a 2 in front. So that's cut in half. And then that equals my half paper. So then I'm going to put numbers in. So I'm going to leave that 2 because that's like my doubling. And then parenthesis, the paper I started with is X plus the 6 pieces that I got equals, and how many half pieces did I get? 24. Now, I saw on day 2, we did an excellent job of solving at this point. However, I did see one thing. Some people forgot to distribute to that second number. So make sure, just like what we talked about with expressions, go to the 2 and the 6. Drawing the arrows, I swear it helps. Guys, I don't know why, except you're purposefully saying I have to give that number to everything in my parentheses, okay? Please let me know, or your math teacher know, if you have any questions. We are here to help you, as always. If not, have a lovely Monday. Bye-bye.